Hi HCGers, Cheryl, HCG Berry Babe here. Um, where to begin? Where to begin? Um, you know that my pattern, for those of you that have been sticking with me last year, on again, off again, up again, down again, doing really well, doing really lousy, on the juice, up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds, the HCG two-step. Managed to get to goal 3 or 4 times, and then I eat my way back up. This last time my highest was over 182. And I finally decided to get off the pellets. I was like marathon load. I was on pellets and eating for maybe 3 weeks. And I thought, well, this is nuts. And I was having swelling and using, well, I guess when I went off the HCG, I started having swelling and was using diuretics, and it was like I was just waiting for the divine spirit to come down from heaven and boop, bippity boppity boo, make me wanna do it. You know, so many of you are doing January rounds, and I wanted to be caught up in the wave. And instead of getting caught up in the wave, I was overwhelmed by the wave. I was struggling and hearing people doing so well. It was hard. And I did all the shoulds on myself. Why can't I? I should. I felt better when, and I just couldn't get there. So I decided that I would just do the best I could and try to calm down my eating, because I was kind of in a binge mentality, and I thought, okay, just try to get yourself more into a real food frame of mind. Didn't have to necessarily be healthy food, healthy, you know, P3 only food, but just food and not buying candy bars and crap like that. So I had been off vlogs for many days. You guys were just really prolific in January with all the old timers. So many of the people whose names I hear people say with reverence, you know, you're back. And so then I had to go back and catch up on some vlogs that that I hadn't ever seen because you were off before I came on. And so got way behind in vlogs. And when I'm not right on top of things, feeling like I'm on top of things, I'm inclined to not do vlogs. So I got behind. Well, I discovered a watch later feature, and so I just piled that baby up. And I had 2 really good nights sleep because I just go to sleep listening to you guys vlog. And I mean, truly, honestly, like 6 solid hours, 2 nights in a row, because I usually use the TV, but you're much better. Susie's body told me once that my voice was very soothing, so Susie, maybe you just need to load up a year's worth of vlogs and just let me serenade you all night long. But, so I just kind of let go and turned it over, and my weight kind of came down a little bit. I wasn't dieting, and I'm doing marathon vlogs. And for those of you that I heard when I was sleeping, I went back and listened. And I happened to be catching up on MJ Going Within. Now I remember MJ from last spring. I got a computer here that I put some notes on, and it keeps going dim on me. And I just always liked you, MJ. You'd sit on your teacher desk, and I'm remembering a white blouse and a navy skirt, but I don't know. That's just what I'm remembering you in, with the flag in the background, and you just always seemed so delighted to be there and delighted to be sharing. And then you kind of drifted away and didn't see you. And I'm on again, off again. So for me to really realize that you weren't around, I didn't process. It wasn't until I started watching your vlogs, one right after the other, that I was caught up in the wave. And I want to do a disclaimer. I really don't think I'm a stalker, okay? So I hope you don't feel that way. But when I hit the quick, tell the truth and tell it fast vlog, 1/9/2014, I felt like, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So much of what you were saying was coming out of my life. I'm historically been a teacher. A year and a half ago, I left my teaching job, not because I wanted to, but because the principal that I was working for was so vicious and nasty and hated me so much that she made it impossible for me to stay. So I managed to finagle a voluntary layoff, and then this summer I was able to retire at age 60, and so I can't earn any more teacher credits in Michigan. And if I do go back to teaching, I don't earn any more teacher credits. My retirement will never increase. But I had to get away. And, you know, you talk about not being able to return to your teaching job, and I don't know details, but I gather that it was very painful. And then, you know, you said that you were heartbroken, and so looking at subbing. Well, that was my plan as well, but it took me a year, well over a year, to recover enough to want to go back in and do that. So I totally understand. I just want to read some lines that I took that are as close to verbatim as I can get. You were overwhelmed with feelings, trying to find a new job, turned anger and sadness inward. Oh, and then you found yourself numbing with food. Before my oldest daughter, who's now 23, came home from Guatemala, I had done 4 years in Overeaters Anonymous, and that was when I first became aware of the concept of stuffing down the feelings with food. And it was very novel to me, but I realized that, yeah, have a feeling, stuff it down. And I've talked about the, you know, getting a cookie, you're feeling bad, getting a cookie. And so anytime I have negative feelings, physically my body has been trained to want a cookie. And so the numbing with the food, when my diabetes was bad but I didn't know it, I would eat and eat and eat junk food, and then I would go to bed and sleep because my sugar would go so high it would make me sleep. And then I'd wake up and I'd start eating, and then I'd go back to bed again. Talk about numbing. I can't sleep like that anymore. And sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I want to just go coma. You found yourself spiraling downward and you weren't able to stop it, and you started eating. So a line that you said, when I stepped out of my fog, and oh my God, so many of us have been talking. Andrea was just talking about what happens to us. It's like we go into a fog, a fugue, if you would, where all rational, adult, mature thought just disappears. It's like the food has this strange power. And so as you're telling your story, it's like, oh my God, I feel it, I feel it. I've been living it for so much of my life. So you talk about when you snapped out of the fog, you tried to get back on around again and again and again. And it sounds like you lost it, and then you'd put it on, and you lost it, and you put it on, and then you would eat on the HCG. And that's exactly that I've been struggling with for 3 or 4 years before I found YouTube, and still since I found YouTube. I eat on the HCG. It doesn't seem to matter to me here. My brain just kind of, you stupid ass, what are you doing? It's like, well, the food's got the power. And later on, you quoted Robin as saying, you know, we have more power than the food. We have to take our power back from the food. And you weren't vlogging either. Where have I been? Everybody knows that if I'm not around, I'm probably not doing so well. It's almost like I have to go away and lick my wounds, and I tend to isolate because I don't want to admit, I don't want to bring other people down, but I don't want to admit it. And you know, sometimes encouragement and platitudes, you know all the things. Yeah, you can do it. Pick yourself up. Don't let this get you down. It's just one day. Get started again. When you know all of the things, it's hard. It's hard to hear people giving love and affection, and you're just so dull and dead inside. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear this one more time, because it's like, yeah, so here we go again. I've done so many diets in my life. My poor husband, it's like, okay, so yeah, here we go again. What are we doing this time? You had expressed the thought that you probably wouldn't even post that vlog, and I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did. I think you had to do it just for me. So I was like, oh, she's telling my story. I so relate. And of all the people in the world that are vlogging or doing HCG, we happen to be vlogging at the same time. And I heard you, and I was touched. So you have to remember that I'm not hearing these vlogs days at a time. I'm hearing them all in the same hit. So had I not watched them consecutively, one after the other, I might not have had the same reaction as I did. I'm proud to announce that you're doing well on a round, except I just watched your Major Pissed Off vlog, and so I don't know how you're going to take this when you see me sitting at your feet looking up adoringly. So I want to just quote you some of the things. You likened your need for food like an alcoholic, and I did that 12-step program for 4 years, one day at a time. And I finally get it. MJ, journey within. You're trying to, you say, you're trying to unjack yourself. You're going within, and you even said that. It was like, oh, now I get it. And I find your introspection remarkable and eloquent and relevant. So much of what you say, just, it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I do that, but I do that in my mind, but then it just goes psh. I don't know if that's the ADHD or that I just don't want to deal with it. The fact that you're not working because you're trying to get it together, boy, I couldn't go back into that school until I really felt like I was ready to. I'm looking at the time, and I think I'm going to do part 1 and part 2, because I'm getting 13 minutes, 15 shuts my phone off, so I'm going to do this one and upload it, and then I'll be back.